You've been our landlord since 2017.
Yes.
And just thought it's given you plenty of opportunity to see how we perform, and just really wanted to find out why you changed agents in 2017.
Well, it was more about having an agent than a changing one.
Okay.
I had a pretty nasty experience with a tenant beforehand, and it went to court, or at least I had to get bailiffs out. So it was a bit messy, and I realised that I needed to have someone look after the flat. And I live abroad, so it just seemed the lesson for me was cutting corners can actually be quite expensive. And so I decided that, in fact, rather than cutting corners to save money, what I would actually do is invest the money in having somebody that I could trust to look after the flat and find the tenants that I needed. Because obviously doing it from here, because I live in Spain, it was always a bit more difficult. Yeah.
Of course. Fantastic. And did you find us via referral or online through an ad?
I think it was through referral, actually, because I put a shout out on Facebook just to see if I could find someone that would be willing, and because I didn't want to do it through the usual channels. I'm a big believer in small business, and so I didn't want to do it through the usual commercial channels. And I think I put a Facebook shout out and someone recommended you. So we then had a chat, and it went from there, really.
Yeah. And that was how many years ago? 4 years, almost 4 years, 3.5 years ago. Yeah. How time flies. Yeah. And so now you've had time to work with us. Can I ask you specific questions on different aspects of the process that you've gone through? So, for example, how have you found us based on your last experience with choosing and vetting tenants?
Well, gosh, the world is a very different place than it used to be. So you can imagine, with the coronavirus and everything else that's been going on, having somebody that can vet people even more important now than ever, because of furlough, because of people not being able to pay, because jobs being lost and that sort of thing. And I've been super, super, super happy with how you vetted my clients and tenants, because in actual fact I've never actually had a problem. So the fact that you managed to get 6 months in advance for the first well, actually not first, but one of the clients that we had, that was amazing. Yes. And they've always paid, so I'm very, very happy with the way that you've been vetting the people that have ended up living in my flat.
Yeah, fantastic. And I mean, obviously, just means that you've not had problems, we've not had evictions, and you know how costly evictions are, clearly, from your previous experience.
I know.
100%, 100% rent roll, no rent arrears. Yeah, so it's been quite positive for you in that respect then.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. And I really know that my flat's in amazing hands, and I can go to bed at night not worrying about anything, because I know that you'll deal with it. And I know you and I have had quite a few things happen, like gutters and issues, but it always gets sorted. And so I know that I've got somebody on my team that's always going to be there 100%, who's got my back and who's on the ground. So yeah, I'm really, you know, if investing in somebody to manage my property means I sleep better at night, then so be it.
Yeah. leads me nicely into the question of, in terms of maintenance, how have you found we've done the right things for you in terms of getting the right price for the jobs, and is there any particular situation that comes to mind where you think, yes, I think that if they hadn't been handling it, things could have been much worse?
Sure. I mean, the gutter was an example of that, and I can't think of anything that comes to mind that I would say that if you hadn't been handling it, it would have been better. So I would just leave it at saying that having you handle whatever needs to be handled is once again another way of me being able to sleep well at night, because I know that you're on the ground. I don't have to worry about dealing with all that sort of stuff and finding somebody to do it for me and this and that and the other. And admin takes up a lot of time, and so having somebody that can deal with all of that, who's got their team, who's done their homework and is able to get good people for a sound price, is almost like, well, I don't have to do the homework, it's already been done for me. So it just means I get to spend more time with my son, less time having headaches, and I get to sleep better at night.
And also, just to add that, we're quite open to you suggesting contractors. We don't limit you to using our own contractors. In fact, we don't have specific contractors. We always go out to get prices to make sure it's always fair and equitable for yourself.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you, Tono, is that I never feel cheated or like you're wanting to, like it just feels like you're doing the very best by your client. So that's the sense I get.